That the consumption, the income number, though, that you mentioned is also flattered by very high population growth, which is stimulating that overall number, but it's not actually helping those people who are currently in a job and aren't seeing wages rise. How are you going to get the economy to work for those people?
No, well, I think you misunderstand the figures. What that figure demonstrates is the number of people getting employment in this country. The reason why the overall wages bill for the country has grown by 3% is you've got more and more people getting jobs. Now, if you don't have a job and you get a job, then your income is higher than it used to be, obviously. One of the other things we're seeing is we're seeing more people of working age going off welfare. We now have the lowest percentage of Australians of working age in welfare in almost 25 years. And so, I mean, that is obviously a genuine improvement in the circumstances of those Australians. Now, I'm frustrated by the fact that wages growth on the wage price index has still been sub 2%. But what we're also seeing is the labour market is tightening because the economy is growing, and the economy is growing because investment is increasing. That's what the figures show today. And our economic plan has always been about driving it. No, I'll finish the answer. The economy is growing because we've been pursuing an economic plan that supports investment in the economy. Now, wage rises don't just fall out of the sky. They have to come from more investment, higher profits, and a sustainment of that position in the economy. That's where wage growth comes from.
But, sorry, the workers' compensation number, the relevant number for most people is how much it's increased per capita, which is only 0.9% over the year, which is actually less than inflation. The reason that number is so big is because Australia has population growth running at 1.6% currently.
No, it's because Australians are getting jobs.
And because there's more Australians than there were.
It's because people are getting jobs. No, you can have more Australians, but if there are not more jobs for Australians, then that doesn't lift the compensation of employees number. That's an absurd proposition. The reason why the unemployment rate is falling, the reason why you've got a bigger wages bill in this country is because there are more people in work because there are more jobs being created. 1,000 jobs being created every day. Now, that's almost 4 times what it was in the year that the Labor Party left office. So that's a massive change. On investment in the economy, we have seen that turn around in just the last 2 years from an 11% decline in new business investment to a 7.5% increase in new business investment. Now, this is turning the investment ship around in this country, which is going to underpin growth into the future and the very wage rises, which I hope for, and I'm sure you do too.
But, Treasurer, are you concerned that at a time where we are seeing still record low wages growth, Australia is running a population increase double the OECD average? Last year, Australia added 389,000 more Australians at a time with record low wages growth and record high price growth over the last 10 years. Is this the time that Australia should still have such an extraordinary high rate of population growth?
Well, the rate of population growth differs around the country. I mean, if you go in Victoria, for example, you'll see the population growth rate there is well over 2%.
Well, this is the aggregate number. This is the overall country.
You go into South Australia. Yeah, I know, but I mean, it's like talking about average rainfall. That doesn't make any difference if you've got a farm in Moree. I mean, it matters what rainfalling is in Moree.
You don't think that huge population growth has an impact on wages and house prices overall for the country?
No, Carrington, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there are different experiences of population growth around the country. Now, if you go to places like Western Australia and South Australia, particularly South Australia, I mean, they're screaming out for population growth and because their economy is suffering so badly. And it doesn't matter whether they're Labor or Liberal. They want to see higher population growth rates in South Australia. Now, I mean, population growth doesn't fall evenly across the country, and it has a mixed impact on the economic performance of different parts of the country. But what I'm saying is the unemployment rate is going down. What I'm saying is the proportion of working age Australians in this country on welfare is falling to almost 25-year lows. Now, these are good things proportionally. These are good things proportionally. And what drives your growth in the economy is certainly population growth, but even more significantly is what happens with productivity. And we just had the 5-yearly productivity review, which I'm sure you're familiar with, and which talked a lot about the changes that need to be made in health and education and making those areas more effective and having a better educated, more healthy workforce that can be more productive, as well as what's happening in our cities to deal with the infrastructure. Now, that's in response to population growth, but we've got our $75 billion infrastructure program, which is highlighted in these national accounts, which shows a 12.5% increase in public investment in these types of projects.